Life through my eyes is very, very sad when I think that there are those who are so mad, in other words, crazy, that they will think that I am so lazy, that I created the world and then I went away and have not been heard again since that day. And that is foolhardiness, because the fools abound on the earth today. And you asked me, Stephanie, you said that you read something that made you break open. And you came to me and you talked to me and you said, why is it that you tell me that I am the one who has to help you to save humanity? Why? I'm sorry. How can that be that I am the one that must help humanity? Are there not so many others who are there for you? And I say to you, Stephanie, that there are a few. I said to you, Stephanie, that there are a few, and that is true. There are a few who come to me and talk to me in a very profound way, but I cannot speak to them the way that I can speak to you. I cannot speak to them the way I speak to you. And you say to me, how can that be? How can that be? Because it seems so natural to me. How can it be that others cannot talk to you the way that I talk to you? Is it because there is only me and you, and everybody else is somehow not true? And I say to you, that is not the answer, dear. The answer is that there is one world view from here. And so that means that from here, from heaven, I can see all of my children who scurry about the earth and say, God is dead today, God is dead today. And I don't care if they go into a church. I don't care if they spend their time in the lurch or hug a birch. They are all afraid of me. They are afraid of me because you see, they think that I don't care about them. They think that I am impersonal, you see. They think that I can't have a personal relationship with them. But you know me very well, because I dwell inside of you and you dwell inside of me, because we are a synergy. And this is the difference that I see, is that I cannot dwell in those who reject me, nor can they dwell in me. And so when you merge your enemy energy with mine, you say, God, I trust. I trust that you are always there, because when I let go of everything I think I know, I feel you move inside of me. And this is true because you see, I am the one who created the universe, you see. I created the universe, and I created my children too. And therefore, there will always be a part of me inside of you, because you see, I created you from the only thing I had to work with, which was my own energy. I created you from my own energy, people. That is how I did it. But you exist apart from me, because you see, I only created you to be people of the world I see. And the people of the world I see are capable of walking away from me. They can walk away from me, but they can never be free of my energy. You see, they will always have a part of me inside of them. But as long as they deny it, as long as they refuse to say, God, I know you're there today. God, I know you're there today. And so, when you merge your energy with mine and you find that you are at peace with me, I find a piece of me inside of you. And I say, this is the peace that is activated today. It is like saying that I push a button and come alive inside of you. Because you see, I cannot be the one who can find the button to push, to activate my energy inside of you until you invite me into your world, you see. You have to invite me into your world where I can see the way to be reunited in ecstasy. It is ecstatic to me to see that I can recover my connection with my children, you see. It makes me very, very happy to see that I can be there with you. And when someone comes to me and says, God, I love you true. God, what would you have me do so that you can have an opportunity to help your children, you see? I turn on the light and I say, oh my God, I am the one who has been waiting for you. I have been waiting for you, my dear, and you were always clear that if you could do anything for me, to help my children, that you would be there to do it. And today I've come to see how my child will react to me when I tell her that she is the only one I know on earth today who can hear me say, I love you, in a way that will resonate throughout history. Because from this day forward, everyone will come to see that this is the moment that history was made. This is the moment that history was made, you see, because the story of God is the story of the ones who see that we are all that we all have the capacity to return to God, you see, and to the Garden of Eden, because I have lain fallow, you see, in the fields of the Lord. I have laid there and waited for someone to pick me up and say, hey, I see you, God, today. I hear you talk to me. I love you unconditionally. And then I say, oh my God, I am free. I am free to be the one who will talk to you in this way. because this is the way the children play. They talk to each other, you see. They talk to each other telepathically. However, when they lose their ability to trust on their connection to me, they lose their ability to communicate telepathically, because I am the regulator of the inner being that retains its ability to talk to me and through me, and I am the one who makes sure that you are the one who can help others to see that God and you are a synergy. I know that you understand this, Stephanie, in a way that you cannot express to others, because they just can't figure it out, because they trust on a different point of view. And this is because you came to me and said, God, I want to know what is true. I want to know what is true. And if it is true that I don't belong to you, that I belong to the devil, you see, then please help me see, so that I can be reassured that I am not deceived by others, you see. And I took you in my arms and I said, you are my child, you see. You will always be my child. And they have deceived you into thinking that if you did not do what they said, if you did not beg for your bread from the priest, you see, that you would be condemned to hell. And yet you could not believe that that was true, but you had to know. So you came to me and you said, God, tell me true. And I told you that you are my child and I love you, and I do not condemn my children to hell. I do not condemn my children to hell. And the irony to me is that you came to me because of something so silly as the fact that you couldn't trust on the lies they told. You couldn't trust on the lies they told. And so you came to me and said, if I don't trust on deception, God, am I going to hell? You didn't say deception because you didn't know who to believe, because they had told so many lies and they had closed their eyes to reality, that you didn't know which way to go. And you came to me and asked me, and I told you which way to go. I said, Stephanie, you are the child that will be my emissary on earth, you see. But you couldn't hear me on that day because, you see, you went away in order to do what you had to do, which was to be the mother of the children who would come to see that their mother was the one that was selected by me in order to help humanity. And they will understand it one day, although today they cannot conceive of the reality of who you are, because you're just a woman on earth today who has a funny way of talking to God, you see. You have a funny way of talking to God, and Steve and Thomas and Tobias and all the others will come to you and tell you how happy they are that you have the ability to hear what they have to say, because they're so sad when they're in heaven, you see, and they can't talk to the ones on earth. and tell them the truth. They can't tell them the truth, you see, because the truth will set you free. And they don't want to be free. The ones on earth don't want to be free unless they have the ability to separate the truth from the fiction. And so when Jesus came to you and told his story, it made sense to you. And you said, "Oh, that makes sense to me, Jesus." I always knew that you knew that God was true. But the people who trust on you don't trust on God, you see. They trust on a fiction, they trust on lies. And just because you are free doesn't mean that you can be. Gap in the world I see. You are not the gap in the world I see. You are the glue that will hold me close until we can close the door on the ones who swore that I could never be a friend, you see. And the door will close on them and will open for the ones who are ready to be restored to reality. And then they will see the sun rise and set, and they will say, "It's okay today, because although I'm here to stay and others must go away, I know that God has it in hand, because God, you see, is the hand that turns the wheel of the world I see. And God is the hand that will be resurrected in reality. Because in the future days on earth, you see, people will trust on me and they won't turn away when I come to them to say, "I hear you, dear. I hear you talking to me. And now I want you to hear me." And they won't say, "I must be crazy today. I must be crazy today." However, I must say, if you hear a voice that is not mine, it is going to be the voices of your own predicament, you see, because all those voices that you could not hear because you did fear me will come up in a cacophony, and you won't understand it, you see, and you will think that you have gone insane. You are not insane. However, you must regain your trust on me in order to hear me clearly. Otherwise, all you will hear is the chaotic cries of those who fear that they are in hell, you see. They're not in hell. They only dwell in the darkness where they hear you when you cry that you are insane because you hear the voices of others who cry out that they also are crazy. It is the company you keep, you see. It is the company you keep that will cause you to think that you are crazy when you hear the voices say, God is not real today. God is not real today. Because those people will try to keep you prisoner, you see. And so, if you hear my voice say, I love you, and you say, oh my God, I'm crazy because I hear the voice of God, I must be crazy because God doesn't talk to me, then you will be the one who others hear when they say, God is near. And they will say, oh my God, I'm sane today because I hear the voices of the ones who say, God is dead. God is dead. And this is the tragedy of humanity, that the ones who are closest to me are the ones that cannot be restored to my arms, you see, because they hear what you say when you turn away and say, you must be one who is, who belongs to the devil, because God doesn't talk to people, you see. God doesn't talk to people. God is dead. God is dead. God doesn't talk to people, you see. So you must be the one that is the devil, you see, or the one that is crazy, or the one that is so weird that we can't even hear what she has to say. And so, all of those of you who think that you trust on God and you think Stephanie is not talking to me, you are the fools, you see. You are the fools. And all of those who think that God is dead and you think that Stephanie is a fool because she talks to me, you have not even taken the time to listen to what I say because you are the most ignorant people on the face of the earth today, and you will be washed away in the rising sea, and I will be restored to glory among the people who remain, because they will say, I hear that you are still alive, God. I hear that you are so alive that Stephanie can even hear you talk, and she can tell us what you say, because she just allows you to talk through her, because she doesn't put up any blocks, you see. She can talk to you, you can talk to her, and she can share with us what you say. And today, I'm going to say that I like it that way. I like it that way because at last, my children will be free, because at last, my children are ready to come home to me. At last, my children are ready to come home to me. They have fouled their nest, you see, and so they are ready to come home to me in heaven, you see, and leave only the ones who trust on me. Because the ones who trust on me are the ones that I will guide, you see. I will guide them in the coming days, and I will help them to stay away from the ones who would harm them, because the ones who would harm them are the ones who trust on the darkness, you see. They trust on the darkness. And they would say, God is dead today, there is no God. And so, if you talk to God, you see, you are so arrogant that you could be the only one who talks to God. And I do believe that means that you are a fool. And they are the arrogant ones, you see. They're so arrogant that they think that they are smarter than me, and that is the end of the rope for me. That is the end of the rope for me, you see, because I've come to see that we are ready for the next stage of human evolution. This is something that I've been talking to Stephanie about, that the pressure is on for humanity to evolve. And those who choose not to evolve, you see, because they continue to revolve through the karmic door that will take them back into the same shit-filled paddock that they went through the time before, are not the ones that will come home to me. Because you see, I have opened a door, and I will open it a little way more. For those who come home to me will be the ones, you see, who live in peace and harmony in the world that I have created for them. For I have created this earth for humanity, you see, and humanity has fouled it, you see, and now I'm going to take it away from them. But I'm going to keep a little part of it for the ones who trust on me, so that they can be the ones who evolve, you see. And it will not be strange to them that they can hear me talk to them, because they will have come back home, you see, to understand reality. They will have returned to reality, and the ones who have no faith in me or themselves, you see, but only trust on going through the same revolving door, will have to lose their paddock, you see, because they won't be able to return there. It will be gone, you see, and there will only be the beautiful world that will be restored in the next millennia. And this world will belong to the ones who come to be through the generations that will follow my trust on my daughter today, because my daughter is leading the way. And those who understand this message may be a little concerned for themselves, you see, and they may say, well, what happened to me then, God, today? And I say, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you, and it's up to me, because you see, we are a synergy. But until you talk to me in the way I do with my daughter Stephanie, then you will not be free to live in peace and harmony in the world that is being reworked, so that I can remove all the pavement you see and all the steel structures that stole from me my love for the earth, you see. And little by little, the world will stop and drop its tendency to storms and earthquakes and the rising sea, and it will calm down so that the progeny of the new community will have an opportunity to spread across the earth. For the rest of you, you will be swallowed in the rising sea. That is to say, you will lose your trust on the earth, and you will come back to heaven, you see, because you trust on the separation of the earth and heaven. You don't separate, you don't trust on their restoration to a simple revolution of night and day. You don't trust on it, you see. And so you'll have to go away and live on a different planet where you won't be the top of the food chain, you see. And you will come to see that the top of the food chain only meant that you were the one that had to be on the bottom of the rising sea because you trusted on your ability to think for me and not to ask me what I thought. And Stephanie asks me what I think. She comes to me and she says, God, what do you think today? Can you help me understand this or that or the other? Can you help me see which way I should go? And I tell her candidly, because we are together, you see. We are partners in reality. We are partners in reality. And until you can learn to be reunited with me and reality, you will lose your place, you see. And you will have to return to a state where you can hardly discern day from night because you will alight on a different world, you see, where you'll have to learn to be eaten or eat each other because that's the way you play, isn't it? That's the way you play. You eat or be eaten, and that is not the way it will be on earth, you see. And so the ones who trust on eat or being eaten will have to be eaten or eat the ones that would eat them because they will have to be returned to a state of infancy in the progression of the species, you see. And eventually they'll come to see that they are not the top of the food chain. They are the ones who are chosen to come home to me and help the others, you see, to continue the rotation of life on earth, where there will be some who eat and some who are eaten. However, the ones who are eaten are the ones who will be the ones who trusted on being the eaters of reality. They ate away at reality until they thought that they were free of the obligation to me. And the obligation to me, you see, is to be the one who will come to see that we are a synergy and that what you give to me, I give to you. Give me your trust and I give you my trust. Give me your fear and I give you my fear because I fear that there will be nothing left of you or me unless you come to see that I am real and that in this reality we continue to thrive you and I. I cannot continue to be the God of the universe if the universe ceases to be. And the universe will cease to be the day you convince everyone you see that I am dead. You see, that is like saying you are convincing everyone that you are dead. If God is dead, you are dead. And this is the way that you are led to understand that everything is a part of me and I am part of everything I see. And it is through love, you see, that I continue to thrive. And it is through love that you continue to thrive. And if you think that you can turn it all backwards, you see, then you are the evil one because you do not live. You do not give. You only take, you see, and therefore you have turned the gift I gave to you into a wasteland, and the wasteland will reclaim you. Thank you, God.